Welcome to Primary ypww Lesson 4. I do not own the rights to this music. Today's topic is I will avoid immorality. The lesson scripture is coming out of Ephesians chapter 5 verses 1 through 7 and 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 verse 7. The memory verse for today's lesson. For God hath not called us unto uncleanness, but unto holiness. And that's 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 verse 7. The target for today's lesson. The Lord wants His children to avoid all forms of immorality, sin, wickedness, dishonesty, and corruption. The word immorality means sin, wickedness, dishonesty, corruption, and uncleanness. When Jesus saved us, God commanded that we turn away from all forms of sin. To flee immorality means to leave it alone or turn away from it. In order to avoid immorality, we must first know what it is. Since all unrighteousness is sin, and sin is immorality, then we know that we must avoid ungodly behavior outlined in the Bible. The people in the Ephesian church did not want to displease God. They wanted to walk faithfully as Christians. They wanted to walk in the same love that Jesus had expressed for them. They wanted to avoid immorality, but they needed help understanding what they should turn away from and of what they should get rid of. God uses the Apostle Paul to help them learn how to avoid immorality. Paul starts by telling believers to stay away from fornication and all uncleanness. Fornication is when two people who are not married sleep together. God says that this is wrong. He tells people who are doing it to stop. Next, he says that they should not speak bad, unclean, or corrupt words. He also adds that Christian believers should not be covetous. Covetous means envious, jealous, greedy, wanting what others have. God does not want any of these bad characteristics to be said about His people. Paul adds a list of other things we as believers should avoid. Filthiness, silly talking, and raunchy jokes are not fitting for the Christian. We should instead give thanks and speak godly things, for we know that all the immoral, wicked, and disobedient people will receive God's blessing. Will not receive God's blessing. They will not go to heaven, so we do not want to be partakers with them. To be a partaker means to do what they do. If we partake in immorality, we will suffer the wages of sin. But when we partake in righteousness, we will get a blessed reward. The questions for today's lesson. Number 1, what does immorality mean? And what does it mean to flee or avoid immorality? Number 2, what did the people in the Ephesian church want to do? And how did Paul help them avoid immorality? Number 3, name some of the things that God said were immoral. Number 4, what should we do instead of telling bad jokes and saying ugly words? Number 5, what does the word partaker mean? And what are the rewards of both ungodly and godly partakers? The end. God bless you and thank you for joining me today.